Ohayo.
Ohayo. Welcome to the So Japanese podcast, a podcast where we talk about all things Japan. We are your hosts. My name is John.
My name is Ryusuke.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
as
you.
Usual.
As
we really
always.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Today's topic is Dashi and Umami, a foundation of Japanese cuisine.
Dashi.
And then at the end, we're going to have a street level Japanese segment. So again, please stick around.
Cool.
We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Dashi,
Mm-hmm.
fundamental to Japanese cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the cuisine is dashi based. If I think about the flavor profile of Japanese food,
Mm-hmm.
I think of the components used to make dashi,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is dashi? Dashi refers to the family of stocks used in Japanese cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
So dashi,
Mm-hmm.
you guys refer to dashi as in like soups,
Soups.
right?
Yeah.
So even the soup that comes in with ramen
Mm-hmm.
is called a dashi.
Yeah. Dashi. Yeah.
But so you have like the blanket term dashi referring to
Mm-hmm.
soups, but we're gonna talk about what real dashi is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And I think ramen dashi, but more Japanese people say soup. Ramen
yeah,
soup.
right?
Yeah.
So it refers to like miso soup has
Mhm.
dashi in it.
Mhm.
Any clear broths
Mm-hmm.
are
Udon,
considered
soba.
is
Yeah.
considered dashi.
Mm-hmm.
Even in like flour based foods such as like okonomiyaki,
Mhm.
takoyaki,
Mm-hmm.
they use dashi instead of water,
Yep.
right? More
Yep.
flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Even if like you grill Japanese foods,
Mm-hmm.
when you brush the tare, like
Mm-hmm.
a glaze on it,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it instead of water again, they use
dashi.
dashi.
Yeah.
So dashi, like the way that Japanese people think, right? The
Mhm.
trades people, they consider their craft and also an art that
Mhm.
takes a lifetime to try to achieve perfection.
Mm-hmm.
The Japanese believe that perfection is never ends, right? You can't
Mhm.
achieve perfection. It's
Mm-hmm.
but you can spend your life every
To-
day to get better,
Mm-hmm.
to get closer to
Mhm.
perfection,
Mhm.
even though you know you won't get there.
No.
It's very Japanese mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like you punish yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Hard on yourself.
Yeah, very hard on yourself. Like you can always make it better, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So where we worked before, Ryusuke was my chef, and we cooked Japanese food, and
Yep.
he was the one who taught me how to properly make a dashi.
Mm-hmm.
So for our listeners,
Mm-hmm.
you're in for a special treat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask Ryusuke to teach us over the podcast how to make a dashi.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
this recipe will be based on like 2 liters of water.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So for recipe,
Mm-hmm.
I use 2-liter water.
Mm-hmm.
In Japan, water is mostly soft water.
Okay.
I don't know in Canada it's
I think,
a little bit more hard.
Yeah, I think people consider water here as hard water.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of North America.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people complain so much about like it dries out their skin,
Mm-hmm.
or
mm-hmm.
even like people that are balding, they blame
Mm-hmm.
the hard water as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in Japan, a lot of water is soft water. And if you want to make dashi, we recommend you to use soft water if it's possible. But I mean, like you can buy mineral water, then you can check
Yeah.
if it's more hard or more soft side.
Okay.
But obviously, you can use tap water as well.
Yeah.
But
so if you want to be proper,
Really proper.
you should buy some
soft.
Bottled
Yeah.
soft water.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
By myself at
Yeah.
home, I just use tap water. But obviously I use the filter, like Brita or anything, right?
Okay.
Yeah. And so 2 liter water, and then Kombu Seaweed, which is dry kelp.
Yes.
Yeah. And normally you can buy at like Asian grocery store, like a seed of kombu kelp. So you weight 5 gram, basically 4-inch by 4-inch seed.
Okay.
And you rinse them.
So when you buy kombu out of the package, it's obviously dried, but you will see like
you see the white powder.
Yeah, it's like
which
crystals.
Salt, right? So you don't want the extra salt.
Okay.
So you just rinsed it.
Okay.
And then after that, you put the kombu seed in the water and then turn on the stove and heated it until before start boiling.
Okay. So you heat the water with the kombu and before it starts boiling. Okay.
And actually, if you have time, even better, you steep the kombu in a 2-liter water for like an hour
first. Okay.
And after that, you just use the water with kombu in a pot and then start heat it up.
Heat it up slow or fast?
Fast.
Yeah. So high heat. Okay.
Yeah. And then if you have the
thermometer,
thermometer, and then when they hit 80 Celsius, no Fahrenheit, Celsius, and then you take the kombu out, or if you don't have thermometer by the eyes, before start boiling, you take the kombu out.
Okay.
And then after that, you put Bonito Flake, which is we call katsuobushi. Bonito Flake is like a paper thin shaped bonito, like
Smoked.
dried bonito, smoked bonito. Yeah.
You put in the bonito flakes with the stove still on high?
No.
So you turn it down.
You
take
turn
the
it
kombu
down.
out, turn it down.
Yeah, turn it down, and then added handful bonito flake, which is about like 10 gram,
Okay.
and simmer 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then after that, you strain the dashi with bonito flake into a
Like a sieve, a colander? You just strain out the bonito flakes. Okay.
And don't squeeze it.
Okay.
You just let them drip
Okay.
till like last drip.
Okay. So you want to get all the flavor.
Yep.
You want to the last drip, but don't squeeze.
Don't squeeze. Why? Because if you squeeze and then you get egumi, which is bitterness.
Okay.
And you want to avoid that, especially for this dashi.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then after that, you can start using for miso soup or soba or udon or even oden or any type of dish. Yeah.
How about if I want to add some extra flavor to it?
Yeah. And then for me, if I want to make soup for udon or soba, then I add soy and mirin, equal part. I'll say like half cup each.
Okay.
For this recipe. And for soy sauce, I use light soy.
Okay.
Light soy doesn't mean light salt. Light soy is actually light color. Yeah. So technically, light soy has 1 or 2% more salt than regular dark soy. So in that way, your dashi is not like completely dark black.
Yes.
You still can see like the bottom of your pot.
Okay.
So it's like a golden liquid. Yeah. And you can taste. And if you don't feel the saltiness is not enough, and I always add salt.
Do you add the soy, mirin, and salt with the heat off or on?
Heat on. Yeah.
Heat on.
Yeah. But no bubbling.
Not bubbling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to clarify for our listeners that might not know, mirin. Mirin is just like
rice wine.
Rice wine that is sweetened.
Sweetened. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just quickly recap because I interrupted him many times.
Yep.
So let's go through the ingredients first. 2 liters of preferably soft water. Tap water is fine. 5 grams or a 4-inch by 4-inch sheet of rinsed kombu. And about a medium-sized handful, about 10 grams of dried bonito flakes. So if possible, steep the 2 liters of water with the kombu an hour first without any heat. And then you can put the pot onto the stove, high heat, take out the kombu out before it starts boiling.
Or before it hits 100.
So at around 80 degrees, ideally you want to pull it out, but by the visual test, just before it starts bubbling, right? Take the kombu out, turn down the heat to about medium, throw in the bonito flakes, and let it simmer. No crazy bubbles.
No.
For about 10 minutes. And then you can strain the flakes out. Very important. Don't squeeze. Just let gravity do its thing. Let it drip. And then after that, with the heat still on, but not boiling, you can add equal parts, half cup of each, soy and mirin, and salt to taste.
Yep.
Perfect. And I noticed that the dashi that you taught me, this one, is rather clear.
It's
right?
really clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So visually, it's appealing. So it's more like a clear golden color, right? Do you mind telling the differences between dashis?
Sure. Yeah. So there's 2 type of dashi. One dashi is Kansai dashi, which I explain you guys how to make now.
Okay.
So the Kansai dashi gets like nice and gold, clear broth. And then the other one is Kanto Dashi, which is like a Tokyo style. They only use bonito more like chunk.
Okay. Still
like,
dried, right?
It's still dry, yes. Yeah. Or they put bonito flake hard and then they boil them. And after that, they add soy, mirin. But soy, they use regular dark soy.
Okay.
Because of, again, like Kansai style, it's very like sensitive, right?
So it's more subtle.
More subtle to get flavor from dashi. But Kanto is like I said, they boil them, so it gets also kind of egumi.
Okay, so a little bit more
bitterness or more fishiness.
Okay.
But because of you add regular dark soy to cut the extra egumi fishy flavor out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a darker, stronger flavor?
Yep.
Dashi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like for the listeners, if you go udon restaurant in Tokyo, Kanto, mostly they have like dark black dashi with the udon.
Okay.
But if you go Kansai, which is around Osaka, and you order udon, you see like udon with like golden clear soup. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that. So we also have what you guys call Ichiban Dashi and Niban Dashi. So the Ichiban Dashi is what you will get if you follow Ryusuke's recipe, right? So it's like the first cook, right?
First batch, yeah.
First batch.
Yeah.
And that's used for soups, right? And then you have a Niban Dashi, which you use the spent kombu and the spent bonito flake to make another round, a second batch.
Yeah.
So it's less flavorful, obviously.
Well, that's why you add a little bit more bonito flake.
Okay.
Then this time you can boil them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this dashi, the second round, is used for sauces. So you don't care about the subtleties as much because you're gonna add other flavorings to make a sauce, right?
Or like again, like it's sauce. So like you want to use this for some actual dish, right? It's not because like the ichiban dashi for soup, because soup is the main.
Okay,
which
so that's the
means
finished product.
The dashi
already.
is the main.
Yes.
But the niban dashi, obviously for sauce. So there's a main dish, main product, meat, fish.
So the dashi is like a side component.
Exactly.
An ingredient to make another dish.
Yeah, instead of water. Yeah.
Okay. So that's good, right? Sustainability, using spent food.
As much as you can.
As much as you can. So you have the first round, the second round. What can I do with the kombu after that?
Okay, so after that, obviously it's still edible. So like for kombu, you take off from the liquid, then you can chop like 1 inch long and then thin.
Okay,
like
thin slices.
Thin slice. Yeah, strips, exactly. And then you can cook with soy sauce, again, mirin, and sake, a little bit of sugar, and you cook it down until the liquid is almost gone.
Okay.
Yeah, evaporate. And then finish to sesame seed.
Okay.
And that's for the furikake, or like condiment for rice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can add other things too, right?
Of course, yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
You can add chili.
Yeah. If you want spicy, yeah.
You can add sesame oil.
Yeah.
Right? Any type of anything.
Anything.
Right?
Yeah. Anything. Yeah.
Just with plain rice, that's really good on its own.
And
how about the Bonito Flakes?
Yeah, so Bonito Flake, I normally do after I take off Bonito Flake out, then I spread on a flat like a kitchen sheet.
Okay.
Like baking sheet.
Okay.
And then I leave in the fridge to dry them up.
Okay.
So like doesn't have to be completely dry, but like dry enough to break it down.
To crumble it.
You
can also leave it in like your oven.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. You can.
That's off. You just want to dehydrate it pretty much.
Exactly.
If you have a dehydrator at home, even better. It'll be quicker. Okay.
And then you make it soy and mirin to evaporate a little bit. So that's the sauce. And then at the end, mix with the dry bonito flake. So that's also another rice condiment. It's called okaka.
Perfect.
Yeah, and that's another like a furikake. I think you guys know furikake. Some people.
Yeah, that's perfect, right? We're using everything, right? So we have a friend of the podcast, a TikToker, and he's on Instagram as well. His TikTok handle is _huge food. So THE_EUGEFOOD. And he has a couple of videos
like I gave him my recipe, and as well as the rice condiment. He had 2 videos, both videos on his TikTok.
Okay.
And yeah.
So if you guys want a visual, and then check out the huge food, and you can get a visual of what Ryusuke was talking about.
Yeah.
So it might sound pretty time consuming, and you got to watch the stove, right? You can't let it boil, right? It changes the flavor, right?
Exactly.
So you got to be around the kitchen. And with the working culture of Japan, everyone's go, really busy. So granulated and liquid form of dashi is also widely used, right?
But also I think in Asian grocery store you can buy the powder dashi as well. It's kind of strong, but
it's stronger and less like it's stronger but less flavorful almost, right? You can kind of taste the processed nature of it, right? But so the point of dashi is to extract umami. So umami is what the Japanese call the fifth flavor, right? So the human tongue can identify sweetness, sourness, saltiness, and bitterness. So as a kid in school over here, you, I don't know, science or health class or whatever, I remember as a kid, you would have like a picture of a tongue, and then you can
which part
tastes is what tastes. But there was never 5. It was always just 4 flavors, right? So in 1908, a professor, Ikeda
Ikeda Kikunai. Yeah, Kikunai Ikeda.
He identified the flavor of umami from the kelp, from the kombu. And pretty much it's glutamic acid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what umami flavor is. And umami flavor can be found, it's widely found in all foods, right? But if you think of like bone broths, meat broths, or any fermented food, pickles, if there's like that flavor that you can't really identify, that's umami.
It's like for me, it's like more deeper flavor.
Yes.
Like layer of like another flavor.
It's more complex. So for your tongue, the characteristics of umami would be like the flavor coats your tongue more. It's more long lasting. It's like more balanced, right? Not super salty, not super sweet. And a really good indicator whether something has umami or not is if your mouth waters.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So naturally, you can find umami, glutamic acid in foods such as like tomatoes, Parmesan cheese, any aged cheese, cured ham, prosciutto, hamon, dried porcinis, dried shiitake. All mushrooms have glutamic acid, but when you dry it, obviously it intensifies it. Onions, sardines, fish sauce, and for our vegan, vegetarian listeners, nutritional yeast, that's umami, right? So a lot of these ingredients are found in Western culture as well. But I think it's not really widely known, umami, in other food cultures. The Japanese identified it.
Yeah, like these days, you guys hear everywhere, umami. But it's very recent, right?
Yeah, very recent.
Even when I started cooking, like 20 years ago, in Japan, yes, we say umami.
Yeah.
But when I was in here, Canada, they don't know what's umami.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I couldn't even explain what is umami. Yeah.
Now people know.
But now people know. Exactly. Yeah.
So you can add umami to your dishes, right? So for example, ketchup. When you add ketchup, when you add soy sauce, miso, truffle oil, even ranch dressing, right? Worcestershire sauce, that it tastes better. Why does it taste better? Because you added glutamic acid.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But a lot of processed foods now, like Doritos, I think it's like the 5th ingredient. It's monosodium glutamate, MSG.
MSG.
So MSG is added to a lot of food for umami. There's like this whole thing where it's what they call it, the Chinese food syndrome, where people reported that after eating Chinese food, they felt like kind of sick,
dizzy,
heart palpitations, and but that has been found as bullshit, right?
Yeah,
there's no adverse health effects from consuming MSG. It's more unhealthy to consume salt, right? So in Japan, was there that thing? I think this happened like in the 80s, 90s. Like even Chinese restaurants now, they will have a sign, no MSG, right?
Yeah.
But
really, no MSG, it doesn't exist.
Right.
It has to have MSG
in
somehow.
soy,
Yeah.
right? If the Chinese restaurant uses soy sauce,
yeah. If
it's
you
gonna
use
have-
seaweed, yes.
right?
And like, so why Italian
sauce.
restaurant doesn't say no MSG?
Right? You
Tomato sauce, cheese.
right?
Yeah.
The sprinkling of Parmesan cheese on your pasta, you're sprinkling umami, you're sprinkling glutamate,
Like natural MSG.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Was there anything like that in Japan?
No, I don't think so.
People
like,
reporting like, oh, I feel sick from MSG.
No. I never heard that. And like my parents have coffee shop. They also have food. I remember my dad has Ajinomoto, which is MSG, it looks like a salt. Yeah.
I remember when first moving there, I had to buy like my pantry items for new kitchen, right? And I thought it was salt.
And then you add a lot.
Exactly. So Ajinomoto is just like a brand of MSG, powdered MSG.
Yeah,
and
most biggest MSG brand. Yeah.
But I want to say that I think it's commonly known that the whole thing with the Chinese food syndrome, it's kind of racist actually, right?
I think so, yeah. It's just against the race.
Right?
No, for the food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, to me, it's like, if you order Chinese food in North America, normally you get like big size of fried rice or chow mein.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, it's a lot of food.
And if you're gonna eat
and
it,
if you eat all, you feel sick.
Yeah.
And then because Chinese food they use a lot of oils because it's like stir fry, deep fry. I don't think it's because you get sick from MSG. It's from eat too much. Eat too much oily food.
Exactly.
That's it.
And I mean, they're not complaining when they finish off a whole big bag of Doritos, right?
Or even like they feel sick and any food, but they just point out the Asian food.
Yeah, must be the Chinese place that I had, right? Yeah, definitely there was racist roots in it. And maybe at that time, Chinese food was like coming into popularity, so you could see it around more often and people would go visit more. Just want to blame them.
Yeah, and even when we were working together at the same restaurant, sometimes servers come into us and they want to make sure like, are you guys using any MSG?
Yeah.
Because customer ask.
Right.
And then we say, well, we don't have actual MSG.
Powdered MSG.
Yeah. But we have all the food has like umami flavor. Like I use dashi and stuff. So
naturally, all our food has MSG because obviously we're going to make it flavorful.
Exactly.
Umami, right?
Exactly.
But we don't add additional. Although some places do and totally fine, right? You're adding flavor, right?
Yes. It's normal.
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's pretty much asking, oh, do you use salt on your food, right?
And I think nowadays, it's very common and famous Asian beef. Asian beef, why they aged beef? Because of they want, how to say, like to bring up more glutamine acid in the meat.
Exactly.
So the meat by themselves gets more flavorful, right?
Yeah, you can tell the difference, right? Like you buy a steak,
fresh cut,
wet from the supermarket compared to a dry aged steak you have at a fancy steakhouse. Why does it taste better? Because it was aged. They let the glutamic acid develop, right? Same thing with cheese, right? You buy a block of shitty cheddar and you buy
aged
Parmesan. Why does the Parmesan taste better? It's because it's aged.
Yeah.
More glutamic acid.
Yeah.
Right?
And now even fish.
Exactly.
Right?
Sushi spots.
Now like you see a lot of aging fish.
Exactly.
And again, it makes sense. Like I had a sushi last night and this was like second time we visit there. The first time we felt okay. But yesterday I felt more umami from the fish. Then I noticed, oh yeah, because they aged.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's also MSG.
Yeah, more
right?
glutamic acid, right?
Yeah.
And also the drying, you're evaporating water, right? Water dilutes flavor. So obviously it's going to be more flavorful when the water is gone.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of cooking, right? Taking water out.
Yeah.
So dashi, we would really like it if you tried Ryusuke's recipe at home. Let us know on any of our social media platforms of how it went.
Yep. And please check our friends, the underbar Yuji food.
Yep. The underscore Yuji food.
He has very good content too.
Yeah, great content. Very. So Ryusuke worked with Eugene. Before, and so he's a professional chef, and a lot of the tips and tricks that he shows on his TikTok and Instagram is more like pro tips, but for the everyday.
Some famous famous people also pick up his content as well. So
it's very, very informative. So shout out to the Yuji food.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode on Dashi and Umami, the foundation of Japanese cuisine. We mentioned it before. Ryusuke and I are chefs, so if you guys want more content on our podcast that are more like focused on food and more detailed about it, let us know. We'd love to share more because the food podcast before, we're just talking generally, right? We don't want to nerd out too much on the food. But if you guys would like, we're obviously more than happy to.
Yeah, and we both love cooking, obviously. Like now we focus on more this podcast and to, you know, tell people what's Japanese food or also Japanese culture. But
exactly. So this brings us to our street level Japanese segment.
It's getting popular.
Yeah, thank you. So today's word, very useful, informal, as usual. And the word is chodai.
Chodai? Sore chodai?
So, chodai means please, can I have, can you pass me? So informal is chodai. Formally, you can say
kudasai.
Kudasai is widely known, but chodai is more street level. So let's give our listeners a couple of examples. So how about, hey Ryusuke, can you pass me that pen?
そのペンちょうだい
Okay. Or how about you're at a restaurant and it's your regular spot. They know you. Order a beer.
ビールちょうだい
Okay. So informal, right?
Informal.
Would you say chodai to your boss?
Never.
Or someone older than you?
Never.
Okay.
Well, to my mom, my dad, yes.
Yes.
But
to close family and friends, yes. But generally, your boss, someone that's older, you would say kudasai.
ください。それください。
Informally, you say chodai.
ちょうだい。
Chodai.
Yeah.
Great word.
It's very useful.
Very, very
それ
useful.
ちょうだい
Yep. So that does it for today's episode, right?
Yeah, that's
It was
all.
a fun one. Yeah, we love doing the food ones.
Yeah.
So, as usual, we have to say it because all podcasts do. Please rate us, subscribe to us on wherever you find your podcasts. We are also on YouTube, so if you want to watch us while listening, you can find us there at So Japanese Podcast. A little hard to find.
Yeah.
But if you type it into the search bar, you got to scroll down a little bit, but you'll find us. Please subscribe, thumbs up, like, all that. And again, we're getting some good ideas from our listeners, right? They're letting us know to do different topics. So continue to please do that. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. And we love to talk about what you guys want to know.
Exactly. We do 2 podcasts a week, right? It comes out every Monday and Thursday. So eventually we'll run out of ideas. So we really appreciate all your input.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.
Arigato.
Arigato.